Welcome back, you guys. And I don't say that with the warmest of hearts because look at where I am. I finally did it. I finally went upstairs and cleaned this room. So I didn't want to. Also, I wanted to show you guys this is hot sauce. If you're new here, that won't matter much to you, but that is the cat hot sauce. If you're new here, good job. You found him right away. That's amazing for you. But usually, my other pets are a big part of my channel, and no one ever sees that cat because he doesn't particularly like being with the rest of the family. He only wants to be with my oldest daughter. That is his one true love and the only person he cares about in the whole world. So it has been about a year since I have come up here and tidied, and it's not great at all. I needed to be up here way sooner, and I've tried. There's evidence of me trying in here, and I did a live where I was pretending like I was going to get it done, but we lost steam very rapidly. But it is overwhelming. I don't really know where to start. So I didn't want to start. It was too hard. So, first thing, this is my Halloween decor. We're going to put it away. And I did turn on a light in there. I am not some horror show virgin who's just going to go into a dark attic to get murdered. I know better. I can see where I am in there. For some reason, you can't see. I am putting the last little tub over there in the kitty corner and not away in the back. And there's a reason for that. It's because I don't have a lid on it. When I bought those tubs from Target, for some reason, I got one lid that fit and one lid that didn't fit on the second tub. You guys were like, no, they'll totally let you exchange it. And I went that day and exchanged it. And you guys were right. So good job. I chopped that part up a little bit because my husband was wearing comfy shorts, and this is not that type of video. You guys didn't need to see that. But he was trying to get the AC to work. I genuinely don't think it actually turned on. He just said it turned on because by the end of this, I am sweating and bright red and terrible. And I just don't think it was on. Okay. One thing I'd like to address about this is why we are cleaning upstairs. I had convinced myself that in next weekend, my best friend was coming to visit and I need her to stay in Calvin's room. So the kids were going to come upstairs to sleep. So I had to get this done. I am so overwhelmingly busy right now. And I did not have any other day but today to dedicate all of my time. It took me 6 hours to clean all of the editing. And now I am tucked away well past my bedtime doing this voiceover just to realize no, I had 2 weeks. She's not coming for another 2 weeks. I could have put this off for so long. And I'm mad at her. I feel like it's her fault for not bending time and me getting mildly confused. And so, luckily, I love her deeply. Look at how tall this shark vacuum is. I think it must be a prank. Um, but yeah, so we're mad at her, but we deeply love her. So I guess it's fine. Um, Okay, I bought the shark vacuum recently. I used it a tiny bit downstairs, but this is my first time really using it. I cannot believe how tall it is. That's insane. That shouldn't be real. I feel like I'm getting pranked. And I struggle getting the attachments. I struggle getting this open here. It's just, I struggle. That is the theme of this video. I should title it that. I struggle. Um, okay. So, for this room and for my life and for my YouTube, I am really overwhelmed where to start. And the whole theme of my YouTube channel is me being overwhelmed with my mess and not knowing where to start. And I have different plans and I try to talk it out with you guys and either give you guys inspiration to clean or just I love that you guys watch and you're like, "Whoa, that was a disaster. What's happening over here?" But my first intention, so I brought up a hamper, I brought up a tub to put dishes in, I brought up an entire box of garbage bags, and I'm trying to minimize how many times I'm going to sprint upstairs and downstairs. So Initially, yes, I have to run and get all of the brooms, the vacuum, the cleaner, and stuff like that. But I am bringing my big tools. So maybe I'm not constantly going up and down stairs. And I thought I was going to start like, fine, let's get all of the dishes and then all of the trash and then all that. But this room is too far gone. And I am not that type. I just couldn't do it. It's too big of a space for me. And I need to be aggressively focused when I clean. Like you can tell here, I wanted to show you that lid that comes into play later. Um, I was like, okay, well, I'll set the camera here. No, I'll set the camera here. No, I'm going to do this. So, my goal is walk through the door. We're going to start immediately to the right and we're going to take it in chunks. We're going to do the outside of the room first, and then we're going to hit the inside of the room, and then we will be done. Right? So, I initially, because the door was open, I forgot there was a behind the door. And so I start on the first bed. I pull everything off. We're just going to get all of the food, trash, and all of that crap out. And then I realized, oh, wait, there's a behind the door. So to technically start, I stopped what I was doing over in that square and I'm doing behind the door. And then we're going to cycle back to the first bed. When I came up the stairs and I showed you that lid, that's important to the story. That is the lid that goes on the Halloween decor, which is in the closet, in the attic, right? But I cannot just go over to the attic and open it and put that lid on there because that is not the zone I should be focused on. If I introduce myself into a new environment, I am going to find side quests in that environment. I need to trap myself in one zone and clean one zone. That's why I have the dishes. That's why I have Leroy Jenkins coming up to me so I don't have to find him for kisses. And that's why I have the laundry, all of the stuff with me so I don't go on an adventure. We just don't need side quests today. For example, like if I were to decide to bring the dishes down to the kitchen individually, first of all, that's too many stairs for me. This is not a workout channel. I'm not doing fitness. Um, but if I were to bring them down, I would see that there is something in the kitchen that I was supposed to do. I would probably want to do dishes first because I would think, oh no, you're gathering so many dishes upstairs and there are dishes in your sink. Why don't you just do the dishes downstairs first so the dishwasher's going? So then you can bring new dishes downstairs and those can get washed. And so I would get distracted and I would do dishes. And remember, I have tricked myself into thinking I just have the one day to do this. So I don't have time for extracurriculars. And then if I do the dishes, I'm going to get sidetracked and say, oh, the dishwasher's going. Why isn't the laundry machine going? I need to wash laundry. And I do end up doing like 14,000 loads today, but I would end up finding something weird. And we don't have that many hampers available. So if I put this one upstairs, that one's gone. If I'm downstairs, nothing's upstairs. We forgot that existed. So I would have to find a different hamper so that I could get the clothes out of the dryer. I don't have any empty hampers. I have a hamper with clean clothes that I haven't folded in here, and two hampers with clothes that I have folded but I didn't put away. I just put them back in the hamper and hid them in my room. So I'd have to come in my room and put away laundry and probably go gather new laundry out of my bathroom. And my bathroom isn't that clean. I need to empty the trash and, scrub out the toilet. I need to put my like toiletries away. I bought a new makeup. I bought two new kinds of makeup, and one I think I do need to return. So what if I took that one I needed to return? I probably should put it in my purse for the next time I'm near Ulta. And that reminds me, I did want to go to Target, which is next to Ulta. I could leave the house and run the errands that I should run real quick because one of them is kind of related to this room. I wanted to get mattress covers for their mattresses. And then suddenly, this is not going to happen because I thought maybe I should bring dishes downstairs. It is so much if you give a mouse a cookie in my world that I just absolutely cannot move from one stinking space. And that is where I need to clean, especially when it's a room like this. This room's horrifying. All right. I wasn't going to like deep clean, but I opened up one of those drawers and I peeked and I saw a lot of food wrappers and I need to get those out. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'll just go through all of the drawers up here. It wasn't that tedious and there was a lot of dust and hair and crumbs at the bottom of them. So I'm glad I vacuumed them out. This room, I sneeze 15 billion times. And I had to stop in the middle of it and wash my face because my face was getting overly itchy. And by the end of the clean, I was so excited to get into the shower. I was like itchy and I felt like, okay, I'm making myself itch. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Why do you guys always do that to me? You're like, Beth, talk about this uncomfortable thing, and then you're going to feel itchy. Like that one time we were discussing lice. Oh, now I said lice. My head's going to itch. All right, so this section is done. The twins, not just the twins, everybody's bed is like that's a really crappy, flimsy mattress, and they've been climbing on it without anything on there. So they're gross and dirty. But I am not going to buy new mattresses today, that's for certain. So I have two foam pads that I bought for my bed, but they were too squashy and were starting to hurt my back. Um, because it's like Goldilocks over here. It was too soft and I'm looking for just right. So I'm bringing them up here. I only have two of them. So I found it a good opportunity to show Calvin how much I don't love him. So I only am going to put it on the twins' beds as a tangible way of letting him know he is my least favorite child. And I think that's important. I just feel like we should let them know, right? Pick favorites, let them know who it is, pit them against each other. I don't know, I just think that's good parenting. Oh, Sonia made this little creature. It's not as great as the Swifties, but it's pretty fantastic. All right, I think this one by far. I don't know. Nope, just kidding. This one by far is the best at not having that much food. I'm pretty proud of her. And I was really excited to not do that much. I do wish there was a better way of me vacuuming up here. I wonder if the floor tool would have been a little bit better. I don't think so, but it just feels like such a broad space for that tiny little nozzle. Oh, my bedtime alarm just went off in case anybody heard it. We are not getting our 8 hours of sleep because calendars are hard. And knowing dates and remembering dates and seeing dates, those are all very tricky things. I'm super excited. So my best friend is flying down. Her husband's sending her down for her birthday gift. My husband brought her to me years ago for my birthday, and I loved it. And we wandered around downtown Portland. And my favorite thing about my best friend is she has the worst dumpster taste buds ever. She likes disgusting food and it's horrifying. Like sometimes I'll be like, "Hey, does this sound like it's good to eat?" Like if I mix these two things and if she says it tastes good, I do not do it. And if she says it sounds horrifying, I absolutely will do it and it's delicious. So she sucks. And we wandered around downtown and we would just hop into different restaurants and order appetizers and we would share and it was perfect because whatever I loved, she hated. Whatever she hated, I loved. And so there was no real fight for food. And then we got back to the hotel, and I had told the hotel it was my birthday. So they gave us a bottle of sparkling wine, and we opened it and we sat in the windowsill of our room looking out over Portland and just like talking. And we shared that bottle, and it was so amazing. So her husband's sending her out. We're going to go to Savannah, and I got a really cool hotel, and he got us some historical tours. and I just got this little extra treat where we get a cake, but we also get a little bottle of sparkling wine, and I made sure our room had like a bay window, and I am going to force replicate that good memory so freaking hard that hopefully it ruins both our trip and our previous memories because I will just cram that memory down her throat. And I'm really excited. It's going to be incredibly fun. So I guess, it was worth cleaning, but not really. Um, I'm probably going to sue her for emotional distress. Oh, I find myself so funny sometimes. Okay, we are making progress. In this whole theme of life, I was trying to sort the drawers kind of thematically. Also, I do not have any memory of clearing out Calvin's drawers. We're going to have to see. I think I only cleaned out the twins' drawers. Really driving home that I don't like Calvin theme. I don't have any memory of it, you guys. I don't think I did it. Oh, well, that's fine. Oh, okay. I'll go up and do it another time, like next year. Okay. So then I was like, okay, maybe like arts and stuffies. And I have a sewing one, and they're very dramatic dress up dresses that we have. And those are kind of like the themes I'm going with in these drawers. Really, the theme is please stop putting empty food wrappers in these drawers. That did not feel like shedding. And you will be dazzled by how many times I vacuum and sweep in here. The dust bunnies, the crumbs and dirt, and everything on the floor sticking to my feet. It was overwhelming texture wise. It was terrible. Um, okay, so in this little corner, this pillow that I'm throwing away, Leroy definitely came up and peed. I know he got that pillow, and I know he got this little woven basket. Um, and one other section. So that's super impressive. Really, really, really proud. And the reason I'm blaming him is because he is the worst dog ever. He's so naughty and bad. There's no way it wasn't him. It couldn't have been my precious Kesha. She's too good. She's too kind spirited. That weird gap between me talking was not brought to you by me sneezing and blowing my nose. Okay. This little body form my daughter wanted, she really is going to start sewing clothes, and I'm very excited for it. I need to get her lessons. We also have a sewing machine that we were gifted up here, and I just need, see, this one must be the worst one. Look at that. And we just need to find somebody to teach us how to use a sewing machine. And I'm really excited for that. I looked up people, I just haven't followed through with the calling them to ask. For the fact that my son spends the least amount of time up here, he has the most food. That bothers me. It could easily be one of his sisters sitting on his bed, though. He really doesn't come up here very often. Oh, by the way, that's also why he doesn't have a squashy mattress thing. When the room is reasonably clean, the twins spend like 90% of their time up here and barely go down into their own bedroom, where Calvin loves his bedroom and he's in there all the time. But don't tell him that. I just want him to think it's because I favor his sisters. That seems important to me. Um, so the walls are disgusting, really, really disgusting, but they were painted with a like the most matte finish you could possibly paint it with, which is wild because when the people who built this house, this was for their grandkids up there. So it was always intended for children. Why won't you do the glossy paint so I can wipe it off? Also, white, wild decision. That was insane. So we are going to have to paint up here, and it is going to have to happen in the winter or the very early spring so that I can open the windows. Okay, that woven basket that I just moved was definitely another spot that Leroy went to the bathroom on, and I just don't think I can clean it. So it's going away. I better edit that out because I definitely didn't mute and I blew my nose and it was loud and it will ruin all of your ears if you have earbuds in. So, note to self, don't ruin earbuds. Okay, so there was a time jump. I had all of my kids come up and they picked which stuffies were important to them to keep and we are going to clean and put back into rotation, and which ones are not that important. And we are just going to get rid of those. I am sure it would be better to donate them, but I don't feel comfortable. I don't think you should donate things that are disgusting and past their useful time. I think you should donate things that definitely have more life to them and that people would appreciate and use. But sometimes I worry that people use donations as just like, here's my crap. And it is just crap. Like nobody wants that disgusting of stuffies. I don't even really want my kids to keep the ones that they chose, but those will go through the wash and we'll be fine. And there's Leroy at the scene of the crime, watching me clean it up. See, they say that though. They say that oftentimes perpetrators of crime will come back, especially like serial killers, they'll come back to the scene of the crime to like relive it. So that's certainly what he was doing. He's like, oh, yeah, I remember peeing there. Those were my best times. He's terrible. He's so rotten. Man, the amount of stuff. And every time I move this stuff, more dust bunnies come up and like physically assault me in the face. All right. So technically, I would say we have one whole side of the room done, which is thrilling. Except for that drawer still open. Why is that drawer open, you guys? Somebody shut it. Good job, me. I did it. I wanted to leave that transition in because I thought it was interesting. And I don't know, like sometimes when I pick up the camera and I move it and like swings over all the other disgusting that I have to do, I'm like, look at that. Look at all the stuff I still have to do. So much of today was, oh my God, there's still so much to do. It just felt like that until very close to the end, where I'm just like, oh my God, there's still so much to do. And only 2 bags of trash filled up. So that's pretty good. And okay. And then I did do the kids' bedding from up here. So I'm washing comforters and a few other things, but we definitely bogged down the wash. These Barbies, I do feel like I can donate. And also in there is a marble run that my kids haven't used in about 4 years. So the Barbies in the marble run will be donated. I think they still have some really good life to them. And sorting through here, some Barbie stuff is getting thrown away because it's part of a Barbie house that we already threw away the most of the Barbie house. I don't know how we missed like chunks of it, but we did. Oh, but there was so much dust on this table. It was crazy. And I thought to myself, because like in there's a little bit of Barbie accessories and shoes. And I'm like, are they really going to, when I donate, are they really going to be able to keep the shoes and like the purses and stuff? Like, is that going to be kept together and functional? And I decided no. So they go in the trash. And we saw that I skipped Calvin's drawers. Like, we all saw that, right? Who knows what's in there? Probably like some s- some Swifty heads and all of that. Um, if you're new here, the Swifties come up. Literally, they come upstairs, and so I will endeavor to remember and point them out to you. It's just proof that I'm raising serial killers, that's all. Oh, there's a Swiftie up here already. You'll see her in a minute. Okay. Oh, yeah. So I thought you were in better frame. I am vacuuming all of the bugs off of the ledge on my window, but I definitely want to go through it with like more cleaner when I feel like it, which is probably next year. I don't know. Okay. So we have this giant piano, and my son's like, "Ooh, could we get it set up? I definitely want to start playing the piano. I want to learn now." And we don't have the plug for it right there. We have to order one, so we can't plug it in. And I'm sure we missed the moment, the flash in the pan where he wanted to actually learn how to play the piano. I do have to say, I'm glad I'm getting this done. You know how having a task mentally weighs on you? This upstairs has been mentally weighing on me for quite some time. All right, here's another place. I think Leroy peed on this bag of Legos, which would be fine if it wasn't mesh on the side. And guess who's not about to go sterilizing a bag full of Legos that her kids simply have not played with in forever, anyways? Me. So just making sure it's up with some Lysol, and then let's start throwing stuff away. My eyes are itching just remembering this zone. They just started itching again. Crazy. I love how when I started cleaning, I was like thinking of so many fun things that we could all talk about. And now that we are done with it and I'm actually watching myself clean, I remember none of them. What the heck were we supposed to talk about, you guys? I had so many things to say. And now we're just talking about itchy eyeballs. I am really excited. I did start doing the renovation for my friend's kitchen. And that's why, like, I had 2 day to cramp things in because we are, poor her, her house, it's looking better, but it is definitely in a transitional period where everything she owns is out on the floor and exposed. And her husband's like, not exactly thrilled, but I am so excited about this project. And I think we can wrap it up tomorrow if, like, I don't know, we were dedicated, but we're not going to be dedicated. So I'm sure we'll get it done in the middle of the week. And because I have a whole nother week until I am going to Savannah, I have so much more time on my hands than I thought I did. Okay. This easel, yes, it's an easel, right? Easel or easel. This triangle contraption, my kids haven't used in quite some time and is still in very good condition. So I pause here and I take pictures and I put it on my neighborhood Facebook page, and it is immediately picked up by this sweet couple who wanted it for their grandkid. You'll see. So here I am posting it, and then you'll see it takes less than, I don't know, 10-15 minutes for them to come get it. I love that. It made my life so much easier. Ugh, okay. We are fighting dust bunnies here, guys. Dust bunnies and trash. But basically every step of this way, look, you can see one floating if you look carefully. Every step of this way, there's another one. I am just trying to minimize how much dust is in my eyeballs. I fail. I fail terrifically at this. This is going to be my new cable bin when I don't know what cables go where. It's going to go in there. I like to do that. I like to gather up all of the electrical cords and cables that I'm not really sure where they go to. I put them in a bin. And then after about a year, I get pissed off and I throw them all away. And then my husband's like, "Hey, have you seen the cable for this?" And I'm like, "Oh man, no, that's crazy. I've never seen an electrical cable in my life." And just gaslight him into not knowing I threw them all away, which, by the way, is probably what happened to that stupid piano cord because we've had that piano for 4 years. There's a chance it fell victim to me getting angry. That's what I wanted to talk about. Speaking of me getting angry and throwing things away. Okay. So, for those of you who don't know, we are basically the most neurodivergent household you can accidentally stumble into. I am still denying my ADHD. I will do that forever because it's fun. But the boys in this house are ADHD and the twins are autistic, quite autistic, actually. Um, and we do not function like a neurotypical family. So I often come up and I have to do, I don't have to, I choose to, I want to. It makes me happy to do resets for my kids. Now, in general, I am not a tidy person. I am trying to improve recently, and I'm also choosing to do it publicly. And that's fine. I love it. I love trying to figure out how to make my house more clean, how to be a little bit more organized, and just, I don't know, living my life out here with my friends. It's amazing. But it is not something I am choosing for my kids. So that is why they are not in the videos for the most part. I think you get a tiny glimpse of one of them later, but I am letting them control how often they're seen on social media, which is why I'm not like, get in here and clean with me. But one of the things that I get, a comment that I get often when it is focused on a child centric room, when it is my kids' rooms and I am helping them by cleaning, I get a comment often that is something along the lines of, "Oh, absolutely not. I would take a shovel, scoop up everything that's on the floor, and throw that in the garbage while they were at school. If they didn't want to pick it up, they don't need to have it." And it breaks my heart for whoever's kids would suffer that. It's so heartbreaking to me. I cannot imagine betraying my child's trust like that. I am my kid's most trusted adult. That was a Swiftie. Did you see the Swiftie? They show up at the most inopportune times, you guys. I am being serious. And a Swiftie just dropped in and cursed us all. I hope you guys still feel your souls in your body because she can just suck them out like that. You don't even know. Anyway, um, so don't worry, the Swifties come back. If you didn't see it, you'll see it. Um, so anyways, I am my kids' most trusted adult. I am their strongest advocate, and I know what they're capable of. I know what they look like. I know that they look like very tall, amazing, wonderful teens, but I know where we are. So I don't mind coming in and cleaning. I could not imagine me abruptly one day, my messy, regular self just coming in and saying, "I changed the standard. You guys are not abiding by my standard. And so all of your precious crap is going in the trash." I cannot handle that. So the only things I am feeling like confident throwing away is clear, obvious trash, things that are broken, things that I know don't hold importance to them. But I did have them all come up to decide on their stuffed animals. I would never throw away even the tiniest stuffed animal. Those are their choices and their artwork or little things that most people would think are not important to them are deeply important to them. They just happen to forget they exist because they weren't in their line of sight. There's very much a out of sight, out of mind situation that goes on with people who are not neurotypical. It's the same for me. It's why I can never find my coffee. So I make myself a new coffee just to lose that coffee. I have 100 billion cups of coffee going at once because I forget where I set them down and I just go get a new one. It's also why I can totally forget that there's an upstairs and let it go for so long because I just forget it exists and it's amazing. And I'm super looking forward to forgetting it exists again. But so those comments like that are just, they're not helpful. And I think they're actually extremely toxic and terrifying. I couldn't imagine doing that to my child or even threatening that to my child because when you tell a autistic child that something would happen if they don't do it, it is not merely a hypothetical threat. It is an absolute guarantee and it can swirl around their brain like an obsession, even vague things for them sometimes. Okay, for example, and this is like the most fun sponge things ever, and I hated it when my kids were young, but I realized that it matters. So, Christmas, right? You get gifts, and part of the excitement of Christmas is do you get that amazing gift? It's so incredible. I did it to my son. Um, he really wanted a VR headset, and I knew my dad was going to get him one. And we just built up the like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I know that we're not going to get that for you, but who knows, you know? And we played the who knows game with him and he got it. And it was so, oh, okay. So that's a Swiftie. She fell over because part of her neck is missing. Ugh. And I decided to throw her out. Now, if my house burns down tonight, we will all know why. This is the evidence. That's why I'm trying to do my voiceover and upload it tonight so it's in the internet. I'm not going to release it until tomorrow, but it'll be in the internet and post. And then, like, if you guys are like, what happened to Beth? And then later I come out, I'm like, my house burned down. You guys will see. Oh, it's because you threw away one of the Swifties. Um, we still have others, but just that one would not stay upright. So back to Christmas. As you can tell, very linear thought line here. We never go on tangents. Um, so for Christmas, we were able to do that with my son. Now, to do that with my twins. Now remember, autism's a spectrum and there are different experiences. This is my experience with severe autistic children. Mine are verbal, so we are not the most severity, but we probably won't see independent living. And that's fine. I'm super excited to have them with me. I love them. It's amazing. But it's not fun anticipation. It's not fun excitement. So when the girls are like, hey, I really want this for Christmas. Am I going to get it for Christmas? It is cruel to say, "Oh, I don't know. We'll have to see what Santa brings." It's it does not enhance the joy of Christmas. It just enhances their overwhelming anxiety and they become obsessed with whether or not that gift is going to happen. It's not pleasant. It's just torturous. So, we tell them. We will let them know. We'll say, "Yes, you know what? You are going to get that for Christmas. And it's going to be super fun and exciting. And that is something we were planning on doing." And I hated it initially. I hated the idea of it because I was like, oh, that's not fun. That's stupid. Who wants to know their gifts before they get them? My daughters do. And so if if I don't tell them something, they will become wildly anxious. If I tell them something, even though it's we practice doing very obscure, absurd things so that they can catch that it is not going to happen. But if I were to tell them, yep, if you do not get that things off of your floor, I will throw them away. If something happened to be on the floor, my daughter would have an absolute autistic meltdown because the threat is that I will throw it away. So even if her cat was on the ground, I would throw the cat away and it would create such emotional distress. So that is something we are choosing not to do. Also, content. So might as well ignore the upstairs for another year because then I can have another watch me clean my disgusting upstairs. Actually, what I think is going to happen up here is eventually the twins will turn it into their actual room and just move up there permanently. There's just more space. They like to pace at night with the lights off. They like to twirl upstairs and do their crafts up here. And plus, there are beds up here. So I bet you we turn this into just their room. And I don't know, maybe we'll turn their bedroom into Calvin's second room. And then everybody will just be excess. I don't know why I said be excess. Because I'm tired. I cleaned this whole freaking room, then edited, and now I'm doing a voiceover and I'm exhausted. All right, so I thought this camera angle would be a little bit better. I cut off so much of the amazing disgusting that is just right here where I'm sweeping, and you can't see it very well. And I am so sorry for that. But I'm practicing with my new camera. Also, the slow establishing shots and like closing out shots where I'm like, welcome back. And I show you where we're going to clean. And then the end when I'm like, finished result. Absolutely looks like a drone is doing it. Not even a good drone, like somebody practicing with a crappy drone that they got off of Timu, but they're also probably a little bit drunk. That is what it looks like to me. And I do not know how to make it better. It's just so weird looking. And I have to get better because sometimes the gimbal will like focus on a spot and then I'll try to pan across the room and it's like, no, 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 I was looking over here. And it like refuses to turn its head, if you will. And it's just, I don't know how to make it better yet, but we're learning. Okay. So I need to wash these rugs. They're very gross, but it takes forever to wash them and it takes even longer to dry them. So I am like, okay, I'm definitely going to get them up. You have to sweep off most of the dirt because I'm going to put them in. No, you know what? I'm not going to put them in my washing machine. I'm going to take them to the laundromat. And so I finish out this room without putting the rugs back because I wanted to be done, to be honest, and I didn't want to wait for those stupid rugs. And while I could wash them in my washing machine and throw them in my dryer, I think they will take too long and I'll just drop them off and that's better. Which reminds me, I picked up my household rugs and I haven't put them back yet. I really need to put my mats back down. Okay, I'm on sneeze 5 billion. Did you see that? 5 billionth time. And I'm trying to get some of the hairs off of the bottom of that table. And I banded it. They are so on there. I'm like, fine, live there. I don't care. And I'm just doing the floors and sections. So, with all my rambling, we finished the back wall. So, we have the bed wall, the back wall, and we are working on sneezing our freaking brains out. But then we're going to do this wall. I did have a pause in there because my son is also cleaning his room, and we're a one broom family. It's It's just something we choose to do. It makes my life easier. And so he needed the broom. And so I had to pivot and do other things. And that's why I went from working over here to cleaning off the couch. It's because I didn't have a broom and I really wanted it. I think I have the broom back. Yep, there it is in the back, looking all stately and broomy. Love that for us. Here's where I'm like, okay, we're giving up a little bit. I may have eaten lunch. Yes, I ate lunch because look, if you look back there in my Pennsylvania coffee mug, um, which you can't read that it's Pennsylvania, but it is, I have fresh coffee. And then I pick up and shake out two very disgusting rugs. And shortly, I realized that I shook it off right next to my coffee, and there is definitely hair in my coffee now. And I have to dump it out, and it's heartbreaking. I have no idea how long that laundry has been sitting there. So that's a fun little treat. I'm going to throw out that pillow because it looks disgusting. and I discover it. And I was like, "Oh, go dump it in the bathroom sink." And then I was like, "No, you can go downstairs." And I keep doubling back for more dishes, so that's fun. All right. I think here I'm finally like, it's not that far away. You're not that far from being done, but also it feels like I'm so far from being done. And you know what else it feels like? It feels like no matter where I sweep, there is so much more trash. It's just like regenerating at a breathtaking rate. There's so much. It's under here. And then I feel like I forget that I scoop them out to the sides. And so after I take care of what's directly in front of me, look, more trash. I'm pulling more trash from the side. It's impressive, to be honest, how much trash we have. It's crazy. And also, you'll be really impressed when you see that we have a trash can up there, a significant trash can up there. It's also filled with trash. Um, there's so much. And Leroy checking back in, observing me, seeing if I'm okay, seeing if I found his pee pee spot, returning to the scene of crime. Probably wants to give me smooches. He really so Mark was trying to talk to me the other day. He was like having a very serious conversation with me, and we were talking, and Leroy was in my arms giving me such deep love vibes that I divorced Mark and married Leroy. Okay, here my heart actually spikes. I've had weird heart thingies for a while, but I haven't had them for a while. Does that make sense? I had them, but there's been a pause, even though I haven't made it to the cardiologist because the VA will never get me into the cardiologist. And so it jumped up there. Even though I was working hard, I just felt like that spike was a little bit much. So I sat down. It went back down to a much more reasonable state, and I kept plodding along. Okay, here's where I'm like, I'm not cleaning out all of these drawers in this stupid credenza. That's just not happening in my life. I just it's not worth it to me. Also sneeze. So I am setting things in there. My goal for this room wasn't to make it look beautiful and be like, look, I redid it. I'm just like, let's get it not disgusting. Oh, I'm talking to my kids. I'm like, the last time I cleaned your room, I put these in this bucket just like this, and you haven't touched it. And so my daughter's like, okay, we can get rid of it. I'm like, thank you. What was in that Target bag that I set it in the bathroom? Like, that's what I need to know out of my life. I have no idea, but it's not worth it to walk upstairs and check, to be honest. All right. I think, oh, you'll see in a minute, but I think we get to like 7 bags of trash. 3 of them. Oh, I told you guys you would see evidence of me trying to clean it before. These black trash bags here, that's where I started picking up trash a while ago and then just not doing it. And I was like, oh, I'll tuck it in a corner. But I'm sure it was the pets were like rounding around in it or jumping on it and they got knocked over and spilled a little bit. And so I just didn't finish cleaning. It was so hard to start this room. I'm sure you guys maybe, I don't know, maybe you've experienced it, but when you have that one task that feels so overwhelming that you just cannot seem to start it, that was this room for me. All right. And I keep checking the time because I'm like, it's clearly 9 o'clock at night, even though the sun's out. And no, it was like, it's 3 p.m., which was stupid. I kept getting so convinced that it was way later than it was. Oh, also, I forgot to loop back, but that lady picked up that thing very soon. And I forgot to tell you about it because I was yammering. I'm going to throw out this cat tree because it's gross and part of it's broken. And I'm not sure that the fattest cats can safely hop up there. I'm sure they can. I see them up there all the time, but it does not look great. I need to get a new cat tree that's not tan. I feel like I need one that hides my cat's cat hair better. That way I can ignore that there's cat hair on there. I have to get one that's specifically colored like each of the 3 cats. Also, I'm doing tiny mopping like when I have to put something back. So I do it with the trash can, with just a few other things where I'm like, okay, I'll just do a little baby mop back here and not worry about it. This air filter was so covered with dust, it was hilarious. Um, and I don't think I chose the right tool to vacuum it off, but it was a fun little experiment to see which one to vacuum it off with. I should actually check the filter portion of that too, to be honest. Okay. Amazing. Okay, so around here, like I went downstairs and my husband's like, "Are you doing okay, babe?" And I was like, "No, I hate this. I'm not going to be a YouTuber. This job is stupid. I'm going to be a US Marshal." And he's like, "Okay, babe, you're going to be great at it." I was like, "Okay, except I am not checking under beds for bad guys." And he's like, "Well," I'm like, "I'm not. And I will not look in closets or go into buildings that are dark. Or if somebody runs at me with a slightly mean looking face, I will literally just collapse." And he's like, "Ugh, you're going to be the best US Marshal." I was like, "Oh, I know." But whenever we talk about things like that, I'm like, there's no freaking way. Could you imagine? Okay, so imagine you are going into a room and you know there's a bad guy in the room, right? What if you were going to check under the bed and like you kneel down and you lift up, because it has a bed skirt in this scenario, because that's very important to me, and you lift up the bed skirt and like you lock eyes with the bad guy. Could you freaking imagine that level of like losing your ever loving mind? I cannot. And my husband assures me that that is not the way you clear under a bed under any circumstance. And he has never locked eyes with a bad guy whilst doing that, but it's only a matter of time. It's too creepy. See that giant bad boy? That's our trash can up there. Luckily, I have a partially started trash bag from many, many months ago that I can finally use. I was going to say something inspiring, but it's a freaking trash bag. So I'm not going to be inspiring. Inspire yourselves. So much gross on the bottom of my feet. But, less and less trash as I sweep. Oh, frick, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I said less and less trash. And look at how much trash spawned in. I hate it. Okay. But I do like that I got to sit down. Sitting down was one of my favorite parts of today. And there were some things like that Wanda bubbles that still had bubbles in it, but I wasn't about that life. It can bubble the dumpster. Oh, speaking of dumpsters, there is no way we are going to be able to fit all of our trash into our trash bin for trash day. So I don't really know how that's going to go. Oh, and also I'm going to have to take it to the recycling place. They do have a section where you can throw out your garbage. I'm going to have to do that because Cardboard Mountain has gotten to crisis levels. It is like going to get its own Cardboard Mountain czar assigned to it soon. And there's going to be an investigation on why Cardboard Mountain is such a crisis. It is a damn nightmare right now. So, and because I have an extra week to do crap, I guess I'll get it done. But I get to see my friend. She's wonderful. No, I did not ask her out on a date. Not like a real date, a friendship date. I love her. She she's the reason I say I'm bougie all the time, because she said it once and I was like, yeah, I'll say that a bunch. Be just like you. All right. I also privately like vacuumed in that closet. Please respect my privacy during these times. All right, we are mopping. If I can find my mop, found my mop. Let's mop. I feel like this floor wasn't actually getting cleaned, it was just getting wet. I don't know why. I I just feel like maybe the cleaner it felt clean, like spots were coming up and all that. I don't mean it. It felt like it was getting wet, not shiny. I don't know. Also, sometimes when I set my camera down, like I change locations that I set it down, it very slowly continues to pan. What the hell is that about? I love how much paint is on the side of that chair. I also love that I'm pointing, like you guys know. Oh, also, forever ago, I hit the camera. I'm doing a lot of talking and not a lot of watching what I'm up to. So sorry. When I hit the camera a while back, I said, "Oh no, guys, I'm so sorry, you guys." Like, I was apologizing to you as I was running to catch the camera so it didn't fall over. So I was sorry for it that time. I do think you deserved it though. Okay, 5 bags of trash. 5 bags of trash here. And I think 2 in the front of the room. So I know that I want to roll up these mat pads. These rugs are ruggable rugs. So you have to have the sticky backing on the back. I liked ruggable rugs, but I prefer the cheaper versions that are on Amazon that have sticky bottoms on their own anyways, and you don't have to separate them. Like just that part's stupid. So I wouldn't go with the expense of ruggable when they have cheaper, better quality, easier to use washable rugs on Amazon. I can't tell if that spot in the middle of the room is scratch or white paint. I probably that's all I want to say about that. That's all I know. And I moved you guys again. See the slow pan where I'm like, no, I want you facing over here. And it's like, but maybe you want me to show a little bit of over here. The one thing, so it's a new camera that I bought and it has a display screen on it that is very tiny. It's about an inch and a half. So everything looks very petite and I'm not 100% sure about my framing with it. Let's face it, I wasn't great when I was using my phone. So, okay. One more black bag there. That gray bag I set there, so it's getting double counted from the back. So 5, 6, 7 trash bags I see. I That's impressive. 7 trash bags for one room. That's bonkersville. We need an intervention. I'm just kidding. Please don't send an intervention. It seems so stressful and like sad. I don't want to walk in a room full of people while they're all crying, talking to me about my trash bag collection. All right. Got that part of the floor wet. I'm not even going to say it's mopped. It's not mopped, it's just wet. And I love that all of the dishes I found fit in that tub, which I just brought downstairs and abandoned. All right. I abruptly, with no transition, we are looking at the beds because I wanted you to watch me make all 3 beds without moving the camera. And if you could see me, I am bright red at this point. And it's nighttime. Finally, like the atmosphere matches my impression of how the world is going, and the sun has set and it is night. So I did need to run to Target to get these covers, the mattress covers, and I just was like, babe, we both know what will happen. He's like, yep, I'll go. What do you need from Target? I was like, thank you. So I didn't have to interrupt what I was doing and go on a side quest. And he probably saved a butt ton of money by not letting me go into Target. I should go to Target tomorrow, though. I bet you I could buy a bunch of stuff. I really want to buy more pajamas, except I own way too many pajamas. Like they don't fit in my drawer. If all of my pajamas are washed at once, they don't fit in the drawer, which is why I advocate for not doing laundry. I'm very clearly phoning it in at this point. I'm not going to make the beds nicely. Also, I need pillowcases, which is fine. I found a ton of them under all of that disgusting stuff upstairs. So once they go through the wash, I will have approximately 7 more pillowcases than I did earlier today. And the kids don't have to sleep up here tonight. So I don't need pillowcases on those pillows. They can just, if they choose to go up there, they can bring their own other pillows. I have to say it's super convenient having a second location for my kids to sleep. But also, I don't know. The built-ins are cute, but like when they're older, it feels less practical. Oh, and there's a Sammy Jean. She decided to climb up there and meep at me like a cat. And so I pretended to scram her downstairs. Everybody was really, really excited. They're like, "Are you done? Can we go up there?" And I'm like, "You stay your butts downstairs. You're not coming up here and bringing your nonsense with you. I'm cleaning." So close. I like how on both beds, and I'll also do it on Calvin's, like the head of the bed, the blanket, the comforter comes further down than at the foot of the bed. Like I put them on lopsided for both beds, and then I do it for Calvin's. I don't know what I was doing that it did that, but it did. So I got him the extra squashy um cover thing. What is that called? Mattress cover. I thought it was a twin size. It said it was a twin size, but it's clearly a full size. And I just tucked it over the side. I was like, I really want him to have a very squashy one because, I do love him so much. So hopefully that'll be a little bit more comfortable for him. And it just tucks over just fine. It's fine. We're all fine. It's fine. I can't believe I didn't do his stupid drawers though. That's annoying. One thing I loved, so when we moved into this house, we beat the movers and they weren't going to be there till the next day. Crap, I have to sneeze. Hold on. An hour and 3 minutes into doing my voiceover. You bet your hiney I'm not going to try to stop both of these because I know for a fact I won't get them started. Um, we beat the movers, but we drove over in our RV. So my husband and I drug our mattress into our room from the RV, and I brought sheets, and they kept the mattresses up there. So we all had a place to sleep before our furniture showed up. It was really fun. I actually really loved having those beds up there. The kids thought it was thrilling and exciting, and they were all together, so it wasn't scary. Okay, now we are finally in the final countdown. We are bringing everything downstairs. My room took a hit today. It was a dumping ground. I brought stuff down. It was just like, F you, laundry room. But we do know that I am good at cleaning my laundry room now. So I will get that taken care of very soon. And my third dustpan. So many dustpans. This is my last little tiny section to sweep and mop. I'm so excited. My dogs are trying to break in. They're like, hey, you've been in there for so long with the door shut. Okay. last little oh, I grabbed so much stuff. Did you see how much stuff? And at one point, I brought the floor cleaner downstairs and I realized I still needed it. So I just set it on the stairs and continued my way down and then brought it back up with me. Here we go. The last part of wetting the floor. Final result with my drunken zone. I'm tired. Drunken drone. It's a lot better. We can all see that. I cannot believe how much trash was on the floor, how many crumbs, how much food stuff. But we got through it, you guys, and I am so stinking excited. It is off my mental load, and I don't know, it just feels better. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I had so much fun with you guys, and I'm sorry I got kind of distracted on many different thought processes and journeys. I can't wait to see what we get up to next time in the next video. And I love you. Bye.